So I would love to ask on the stage Mrs. Shana Penn, the Executive Director of the Taube Foundation for Jewish Life and Culture.
Bardzo dziękuję. Monika. Dobry wieczór, Erev Tov, Shalom Aleichem, good evening. The Taube Foundation established the Irena Sendler Memorial Award to recognize men and women whose lifelong work entails preserving and revitalizing Jewish culture. For example, the inaugural award was presented to Janusz Makuch because, as we can all attest, the Jewish Culture Festival has restored Kazimierz as a social space for Jewish creativity and celebration. This year, the 8th year, the Taube Foundation proudly presents the Irena Sendler Award to Professor Monika Adamczyk Garbowska of Lublin, whose research and teaching have generated interest among scholars, students, and ordinary people in the Yiddish language and in Poland's Yiddish literary legacy. The Yiddish language was spoken by Polish Jews for centuries, nurturing a sense of identity not only as Jews, but as Polish Jews. A prolific Yiddish literature deepened feelings of belonging to Poland. On the eve of World War II, Yiddish was spoken by at least 1/4 of the entire Polish population. And as such, Yiddish is not only an integral part of Jewish culture, it is part of Polish heritage. Monika Adamczyk Garbowska is a pioneer of Yiddish scholarship in Poland, particularly her studies of the life and writings of Nobel laureate Isaac Bashevis Singer. She's inspired generations of students and fellow academics to study Yiddish literature and to understand its place in both Jewish and Polish cultural history. She's helped to establish Yiddish studies as a reputable academic field in Poland and to garner academic recognition globally of Polish scholars of Yiddish. For these enduring contributions, we are indebted to her, and pleased to present the 2016 Irena Sendler Award to Monika Adamczyk Garbowska this evening.
Thank you very much. So now I can... Good evening, dobry wieczór, and Shalom Aleichem, because Yiddish was mentioned here a number of times. I prepared a very short speech, and I will say it in English first and then in Polish. What can I say as a scholar accepting an award named after an exceptional, courageous, and generous woman like Irena Sendlerova? In my research on Jewish history and culture, I've come across the most noble and the most degenerate manifestations of human nature during the Second World War and the Holocaust. It is impossible to deal with the Jewish legacy in Poland and not to ask oneself a question how I would have behaved if I had lived in those times. Fortunately, I was spared such choices. I was not asked to save human lives. But I got interested in Jewish culture and history almost 40 years ago in the late 1970s, when it seemed that Jewish life in Poland had ended. So I decided to save, on the little scale I could, those traces that had remained and learn as much as I could to dig out more of them from oblivion. I was fortunate to meet on my way people who guided me and supported me in my journey. Let me mention at least some of them. First of all, Professor Honor Szmeruk of blessed memory, whose contribution Thank you very much. Whose contribution to the development of Yiddish studies in Poland is unquestionable. Professor Felix Tich, of blessed memory too, whom I accompanied together with a large team of scholars on his latest monumental project carried out at the Jewish Historical Institute in Warsaw. Professor Antoni Polonsky, with whom I've cooperated for more than 20 years. My colleagues from the Center for Jewish Studies at Maria Curie-Skłodowska University in Lublin, especially Adam Kopciowski and Andrzej Trzciński, who share my interest in Isker books. My colleagues from various universities, institutions, and associations in Poland, some of them are here, and abroad. I cannot mention them all, but let me at least mention here in Krakow my longtime friend and colleague, Professor Eugenia Prokopianiec from Jagiellonian University, with whom I share interest in Jewish literature. And last but not least, my husband, who's always been very supportive of my undertaking. We all know how much has changed in Poland within the last 3 decades. Jewish studies have developed on an unexpected scale, and so did Jewish communal life. The Taube Foundation has its enormous share in those developments. Therefore, I am greatly moved by this honor, also by the fact that I share this year's award with Mrs. Maria Piechotka, who, together with her late husband, started saving traces of Jewish culture in Poland much earlier than I did. Thank you very much. Asheinem Dank.